for my information, what time you have to shut it down today?
About 5:40, 5:45.
5:45. Okay, all right, very good. All right, Tracy, go ahead, please. Let's get started.
Good evening. I would like to call this meeting to order.
Okay. Let's do the
I would like
the allegiance first.
Yep. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the
and
republic
for
which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
liberty
and
and justice for all.
Okay, I'll do roll call now.
Yep.
And I will start with those of you on Zoom. Manish Sood,
I'm here.
Sam Harity.
Here.
We've got David Delana on Zoom. And Peter Lamuto.
Here.
Freddie who here? And Tracy Ruffalo.
I'm here.
All right, and I'm Jeff Kurtz, town attorney, reprising my role as project coordinator for the day. We all had a chance to meet. I think the individual one-on-ones were productive. We appreciate the comments that all of you gave us. And with that, we have one item on the agenda. That's the discussion on the fiscal year 2026 budget. What I would like to
We need a
do,
motion to approve that.
yes, that would be a good idea. Thank you.
Someone, anyone, since I can't.
Is there a motion to approve the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's approve the motion to approve the agenda of the 2026 fiscal budget.
Somebody second it.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Any opposed? All right. All right, at your places, or hopefully by email, you will see this document. It's captioned at the first page is general fund and CIP changes. That's something that David's going to walk us through. Then there was a question, a recurring question. We thought the easiest way to do it is what positions are funded in the proposed 2026 budget, how many full-time and part-time. So there is a document labeled that way. It shows positions in the general fund and positions in the road and drainage fund. There is proposed 13 full-time positions in the general fund versus and 3 part-time positions. The recent budget amendment actually allocated 14 full-time positions. There is the town attorney is included in there. There is an executive assistant / legal assistant, which was part of the FY 2025 budget, but was unfilled this year. There's a financial analyst position, which is a part of a restructuring that y'all might have known. Amber, she was our HR / risk management / grants coordinator. She has left us. Her duties are being taken over in part by the town clerk and also this financial analyst position. The records research coordinator position is Enya, who you have met, and her previous position title was management analyst. There is a proposed new receptionist backup permit tech position. That is a new position. That is not one of the people that you see out there today. The reason for that is we would like the permit techs to be able to focus more on permit tech work rather than receptionist work. And we are discussing having all calls routed through this office rather than separate calls down at the Public Works office. So we think that'll be a good use of that position. That position hopefully will also input some data into our accounting system. On the road and drainage side, it is basically the same positions that were outlined in last year's budget. You have a public works director, a public works superintendent, public works coordinator, and then you have a total of 9 other full-time employees that work in the field, and we have 2 part-time people. That is up 1 part-time person from the 2025 budget. My understanding as to what they're going to try to do with the additional part-time person is have a signs crew, sign maintenance crew that would focus on getting all our signs in shape and putting those in place and keeping those maintained. So that's the positions that are funded in this year's budget. With that, unless you've got questions about those positions.
Yeah, I have a question on that. You said the receptionist position is not filled yet. Is it reflected in the budget?
Yes, all of these positions are reflected in that, in the overall budget numbers that we have.
Including the one that hasn't been filled yet?
Correct. Yeah, because it's proposed.
Okay.
So are 8 and 12 the same thing?
Are 8 and 12 the same thing? No. 8 is going to be a receptionist with the possibility of training them to be a backup permit tech. The permit tech, we have a permit tech who is trained at this point in time, but a great deal of her functionality is tied up in the receptionist position. We want her to focus on being a permit tech.
And out of all these people you have listed, besides the new one, are they all currently filled a filled position? Because I did notice that you guys were advertising for public works
Okay.
worker.
The executive assistant / legal assistant, that is not filled at this point in time. The financial analyst position, as I said, that equates in my mind to Amber's position, but it's going to be a little different. And she is no longer with us, so that's an open position to be filled. The deputy town clerk was the town clerk assistant, but Sammy left us on August 1st. So we're trying to fill that position at this time. And the receptionist, the number 8 receptionist position is not in the budget at this point in time. That's the new position. And the remainder of those positions, from 9 down to 13, and the 3 part-time position, of the 2 of the part-time positions are filled. We have 1 part-time code officer. We are looking for another part-time code officer to help on weekends.
So the second part-timer is open?
Correct.
And then is the chief building official and the community services director the same one?
No,
Same
they are not
person?
the same person. The chief building official is a part-timer with us. They are the
Oh, is that Jack?
yeah, it's Jack. He's got a full-time position and
And then what about road and drainage?
on road and drainage, the public works director position is currently filled. The public works superintendent position is filled. The public works coordinator position has been
It's open because
open
quit.
open presently. It is being filled by a part-time person. I mean, not a part-time, but a temporary person. But it is an open position. Of the public works position, of those 9 positions, I believe one of them is currently open.
A 1 or 2 or 3?
I I believe it is a 2, but Tracy, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure which position is there, because I unfortunately don't get to see those guys on a day-to-day basis.
The 2 part-timers, are they?
There is one part-timer currently, and the second part-time person, I think we've got somebody in mind. One of our full-timers is wanting to cut back and go into, I guess, more semi-retirement, but not complete retirement.
Is that person a 1, 2, or 3?
That person, I believe, is a 2.
So we could have possibly 2.
Huh?
open. So we could possibly have 2 worker 2s open.
Yes.
So I got one question. The new position, you got 2 of them identified. Is that the same person? On the number 8, and then down here on the totals, full and part-time, 3 receptionist position, new position.
Yeah,
Is that the
I
same as
indicate,
8?
I indicate in the notes that receptionist position is a new position.
So-
but-
So 8 and that other one at the bottom is the same person.
Yes,
Oh, same
yes,
position.
yeah, I'm
But
just,
there's only one new position.
yes, yes. My notes were meant to just reflect that's the only new position.
But the other ones are open, so there's not currently people there.
In a couple of the positions, yeah. So with that, I would turn it over to David. And hopefully, David, you can use the screen sharing. If it doesn't work, I will go run for Enya's help.
Yep, so, let me go ahead and change this to the presentation.
Definitely can't hear.
You got to talk really loud, David.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes.
David, before you start, just quickly, this is Manish. I would request, in the interest of time, if you have 30 minutes. So if you can, if anybody has questions, you can put your light on and Tracy will coordinate. But I would request that each one of the committee members get at least 10 minutes today to talk, because at the end of this meeting, we need to have recommendations from every one of you that will be discussed on the Wednesday workshop. So please reserve 10 minutes to put your motions out and your recommendations out. So over to you, David.
Thank you, Manish. Can you guys hear me okay? Is my level good for you?
I think as long as you keep it up, but you've got to keep it up.
Okay, no problem. So, for the past, I think week, but I think it's possibly 2 weeks, we've been meeting obviously one-on-one with not only this council, but also the commission. And, we got some feedback in certain areas. And so we made some budget changes, and this is pretty brief and pretty high level, but what we did is the very first slide that you can see here is we got rid of Jeff's old position, and we made him town attorney, and so that's kind of where you see the plus we added a paralegal, but you can see where we adjusted the budget. So what we did is we took professional fees down by $350,000. And we decided, in an effort to be conservative, again, there are no, in an effort to be conservative, I went ahead and I said, okay, let's assume that we're going to have some type of legal expert needed that may be outside of the general counsel that Jeff is fulfilling. And so I went ahead and I left us $50,000 in there just for other legal. The other thing too that we changed here is training, travel, and memberships. That all has to do with Jeff's licensure. I can tell you from me being a CPA, yeah, I spend about $5,000+ a year just in CPE requirements, conventions, having to go to these things. So we added that to the budget.
Well, and just, I don't want everybody to think that the $10,000 is all travel and training. It is not. The $10,000 that we are talking about includes some money for equipment. There's legal research and operating
Memberships, right.
expenses.
Yeah.
And there are membership fees in there, and there is some training in there to cover it, but it's
Right.
not $10,000 to go on a junket.
So what I'm
Yeah.
seeing here though, is the fact that that bottom number is the exact same bottom number that you had before.
Yeah, so what we did is you can see where we adjusted the transfers out. Right? So what that means is I save about $261,000 in this budget update. And all I'm doing is I'm adding more money to my transfers out to the CIP fund. And so we'll see that we'll see that in addition, because we knew that the CIP fund, has an estimate of almost $2 million per year, and we're trying to fund it the best we can with any surpluses that we get. But so that's what we did there, and that's where you can see there on the bottom we changed the transfers out, any savings and expenses we dropped that almost to the bottom line, where we increased the transfers out.
But your salaries increased.
Your
Yeah.
salaries increase because you're taking into consideration the new position, making sure that the executive assistant, legal assistant is in there, and also the town attorney position. So what you have is the way this sheet shows it, it doesn't break down town attorney, clerk, and all those kind of departmental budgets. It's lumping all your employee expenses into all your general fund employee expenses
Right.
into that one line item. And because of the changes that the town council made with respect to the structure of how they were going to deliver additional attorney services, that's the numbers that we have at this point.
Yeah, because he's no longer, he's professional, but it's no longer, I guess, considered professional services - legal. He's still an employee, of the town. And so that was one change we made there. In the general fund, again, any savings, $261,000 in savings, we push that to the CIP fund
But you're really not, because you're just changing it over to a different position. You're still paying them the same.
Yeah, a little bit more, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but we lowered the legal from $400,000 to $50,000.
You're still paying that in a salary. And you're wanting to hire a paralegal.
no, I understand what you're saying.
It's a wash, in a way.
Well, not
Yeah.
from a budgetary standpoint. Your total budget before any transfers went down by $261,000. So when I look at total expenditures before transfers out, and again, those transfers there, that's to the CIP fund. your total expenditures went from 4.067 million to 3.806 million. So all we did is we moved the excess, that savings, we're sending it over to the construction fund. But if that's, if that's not what the commission wants, we could drop it to reserves.
Yeah, and
David,
there's a good chance that most of those monies will be recommended for movement into the reserve, simply because even with that level of funding, I'm not sure what projects that we could accomplish, whether you've got $300,000 or $400,000. But I understand your point, Tracy, because I had the same question. And if we do a departmental breakdown, with town clerk and community services and planning and all those kind of things, the attorney would be broken down in there, and that might help you understand where the savings are. One of the questions that has arisen in the discussion about the legal assistant, executive administrative person, paralegal, whatever you want to call it, is would that be funded out of the managers under the manager or under the town attorney? And so for purposes at this point in time, when you're looking at the high level stuff, what we have just said is these are all employees. Their salaries are all encompassed within that. You're not seeing a per department breakdown in this. And that's why David said, when you look at this from a technical standpoint, and you're saying we're not looking at professional services as the legal budget, but a component of the legal budget, then there is a savings in comparison to what had been budgeted the last time, because when we last discussed this, I don't think the movement to the in-house town attorney position had been made. So,
Yeah.
Before we move forward, I have a question on this also. Could we go back up to salaries and related insofar as retirement's concerned? Do we have an idea of how many people are actually in that line that went up $12,600? Is that just an annual increase in the retirement number? Money,
Yes.
not number of people.
It's actually both. The state of Florida, the Florida retirement system and the legislation, they set the rates. And so you can have, you have employees in different classes, but the state of Florida sets the rates. I think it went up 2.2% overall. So yeah, we're obviously adjusting for that. And I think it's only eligible for and Jeff, you might know this, but I think it's both eligible for full-time and possibly part-time employees.
Because the numbers are about a 6% increase.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
what we are anticipating going forward? Is that set by the state or whatever?
Yeah, well, you have the increase in the pension, and then you have a slight increase in staffing.
Okay.
And also, we also have, we're also budgeting for unfunded positions.
Okay.
I don't know how long positions stay open at the town of Loxahatchee. But we still anticipate, we budget for them, we just may not spend for them.
All right, I just have a follow-up. Jeff, when you started off telling us about really a lot of movement in the people, a lot of who's taking another job, who's leaving, who's hiring, in all of that movement, do we have any people who have become vested in our retirement and then being rehired as another position?
The retirement that the town offers is the Florida retirement system. And people vest in FRS depending on their years of service and depending on the type of plan they move into. So I think vesting right now in the FRS, I think you vest after 8 years.
Yes.
But it's not 8 years with the town of Loxahatchee Groves. It's 8 years with any FRS entity. And
So to your knowledge, do we know if anybody is moving from position to position, taking another retirement program? The vernacular of the street would be double dip.
Not,
no, you don't have a double dip situation. What you can do in the Florida retirement system is you can move into what they call the drop program. And you start getting your retirement benefits paid into a separate fund while you're continuing to work at your job. You are not able to access those payments until you officially retire. But say, for example, somebody has 35 years in the 35 years and 30, let's call it 30 years in the system. And they say, I'm going to move into the drop program. At that point in time, your benefit would be frozen. The benefits would go into this drop account. You would not be able to access the drop account at that point in time, but you continue to get paid your salary. Your employer has to pay a reduced rate, but not an elimination of the rate into the retirement system. But you don't get any of that benefit until you actually retire and sever your employment. And then you will get you would have access to a lump sum.
Because
of
8
money.
years is a relatively short period of time to vest in any pension program.
The FRS plan it's a good plan. Now, what is it, David? There is a point in time, I think you have to be, is it out a year at least? There are people that can retire and come back and work, but they're no longer subject to the FRS program. But I'm not, David, is that correct?
yeah, I mean, it's, the town of Loxahatchee, can only pay the one employee, one classification. So for example, let's say Jeff is now the attorney, but he acts in another role or whatever. The Florida, it's governed by the state of Florida, and he can only be in there once under the the town of Loxahatchee. Yeah.
But yeah,
How does that work since you've changed roles?
what's that?
Going from being the project coordinator to now the town attorney, because you're still part of the FRS.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not collecting anything from FRS at this moment in time.
But
Is there-
you
Is there an
have to,
age requirement for that collection? In other words, you have to be 55, 60, 65, 40?
I'm
You can become eligible dependent on
My years.
some years of service and some age, depending on what classifications that you are in. For example, if you were a firefighter or a police officer, they have, you know.
The only reason I bring this point up, and I'm sure you appreciate what I'm about to say, is actuarially, this could blow up way out in the future if people start doing that.
And what you have is, it's not going to blow up because of anything that Loxahatchee Groves does, or anybody that works for Loxahatchee Groves does, because this is a statewide system. It is a huge pension plan. We are the flea, so we can't have any substantial impact on this system.
All right.
And it happens to be one of, if not the best funded state program in the country.
Well, if it's coming from the state, it's other people's money, as they say.
Well,
So-
no,
Well,
it's not coming from the state. It's all levels of government in Florida participate in this. It's a very big, well-funded program.
Right. When you said the 8-year vesting, it just rang a bell. And I said, if you work 35 years, I mean, 8, 16, 24, 32, you could really. All right. Enough. Thank you.
In
Yeah.
answer to your question, Peter, there are regrets on my part that I did not join in such a program.
Understood.
But when I first started, I'm more interested in the
Understood.
I probably will never vest in the program.
It's over for
I'm
me, too.
I'm a contribution
It's
type
over
of
for
person.
me, too.
I will get a 401k kind of contribution.
Do you have a question? Does this budget include all raises and COLA?
Yes,
David said yes.
yes, I'm sorry, yes. Also, I mean, listen, one of the most expensive things is labor, without a doubt. I don't know. And, Loxahatchee is in a pretty competitive market there, and being in Southwest Florida. It's
Maybe why don't we go on to the next page, because Manish had
I
asked.
just have
Sorry.
one thing to say too. When half of our budget is towards salaries, that's troublesome. So half of our whole budget is salaries. That something for us to think about. Go ahead, David, sorry.
sorry. So the next change we did was to road and drainage. We
Turn the
looked-
page.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen? I'm also sharing it on the screen.
Where are we now? I didn't hear.
Yes.
We're on the you just flip the page over to the
Okay.
road and drainage.
All right.
Fine.
So same idea, road and drainage. Here we saw that one employee was actually not on the health insurance plan. And so we took that off. And the other change was to rentals and leases. What we realized is it's more of an accounting treatment. Rentals and leases are really part of what they call debt service. And so we noticed that it was actually in two places. And so what we did is we reduced down rentals and leases, because those rentals and leases were really represented in debt service. And so there we were able to save $136,500. And at the end of the day, we were able to drop this budget down from $2.7 million to 2.5. And how we balanced that budget out there is it was just a reduction from a transfer from the general fund that needed to be, which obviously helps your general fund with their reserves, which is always a good thing. We still obviously we're estimating how much of our engineering we're really going to need. Right now, we kept the $200,000 in there. It doesn't mean it's all spent. It just means that's what we're kind of budgeting this year. and with most of all these numbers here, we're hoping to come in, you know, a little less. But that was the changes that we made in the road and drainage fund. The next page here, you can see where, you know, this right here shows you that, you know, we bumped up the amount of money that we're sending to the CIP fund. And
Well,
again,
I think it's fair to say, when you talk about sending to, that would be available.
yes, yes.
Not that we're recommending that expenditure at this point.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I also wanted to show you these right here are the transfers, you know, from these right here are just all the transfers in and out. And again, typically how transfers work is if the general fund or the transportation or local option sales tax fund, if they have anticipated surpluses from a budget standpoint, then what we do is we try to balance the budget by sending it over to the CIP fund or restoring reserves. And that's what's on the next page, is try to give you an idea of what we think our reserves will be this time next year. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here. Keep in mind, with the capital improvement fund, we're still waiting on FEMA reimbursement and other grant, hopefully potentially other grant dollar reimbursements into this fund. But you know, that's one of those things we'll wait and see. The second to the last page, this right here is just an overall summary, right? This is your updated sources of funds. This is where all the dollars come from. And
Are you all following on which page it is? It's kind of hard to see the screen, so.
sorry. And then the last page is you know, what the what the uses of the funds are going to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's out of character to have salaries and related to be a third of all the funds budgets. It seems like a nice balance. I don't know with what our budget size is. I don't know if you'll fill those positions. To be honest with you.
Yes,
but-
we will.
Okay. Well,
I can tell you that if granted the opportunity, we will fill them, because there is work to be done. And without those positions, we are feeling the impacts.
Why
Trust
did
me.
your miscellaneous go up? Your miscellaneous revenues, why did they go up?
Miscellaneous revenues went up because I first took out some, are you talking on road and drainage?
Correct.
Okay, I took out some assessments, other assessments that we are supposed to be billing for, and Jeff reminded me that no, we need to bill for those assessments. Those assessments are not run through the tax collector.
It's Sod Farm and the dog
Big.
and
Yeah, that was it.
Big
Yeah, the
Dog
dog. Yeah.
and
Did we get money from both of those?
yes, and the school.
Yeah.
You get a payment in lieu.
So your other decreased besides the you said you have 191 under general. You got rid of the 108 under your road and drainage on other because you put it towards assessments.
Yes.
Okay.
And Tracy, I promise in the future I will
Hey,
get rid of
Manish.
other.
Right.
I promise
Thank you.
that to you. I promise that to you. There just wasn't enough time in the weekend to adjust everything.
And then your transfers in is less.
Yeah, right.
We
You know,
good?
to balance, you know.
Hey, guys, just for the record, this is Manish. I'm here in person. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Manish.
Are you done, David, with your presentation?
Yeah, it was just high level. I mean, absolutely, Mr. Manish. You're still on the screen here. I don't know if you shut off the laptop, but I still see it on there. But just FYI, I don't know if it's going to cause interference, but.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I would request each of my members to have 10 minutes. They can use this time for Q&A. They can ask this time to recommend motions, which we will support. So we can then present a combined fact recommendation to the upcoming meeting on Wednesday. So maybe who would like to go first?
You can.
I can? All right.
Time
know
to
what?
do it.
I think I have somebody on the Zoom, still on the Zoom. I think we have a member, right?
Sam is on the Zoom.
Sam is on the Zoom. Sam, maybe we give you that courtesy. You want to go first, 10 minutes?
I mean, I don't think I have 10 minutes of
Yeah,
of
go take
discussion
your
here,
time. Your
but
time starts now.
yeah, I mean, the summary to me on the details here is the budget is balanced based on the revenue. I think we need to confirm this is balanced based on what millage rate and whether what we need to approve given that. And
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This budget is balanced at 3 mills and a $300 per acre assessment. And $450 assessment for the solid waste.
What
Yep.
happens if it doesn't get accepted?
You mean if
It's-
there's more money offered and we go to 3.5 mils?
Well, what that does is that just puts more money back into the reserves. So that's not a bad thing.
But the
But
point there, I think, from Tracy is that if we do nothing, we end up at 2.8. Is that right on the mills?
I think it's 2 point.
well, the 2.8 would have to be approved. It's just that the 3 requires 5 and the 2.8 something is would only require a 3-2 vote.
What's the fallback?
Huh?
What's
The rollback rate.
rollback?
Yeah. It is 2.8 and change.
And that comes out of that's just the property tax piece.
Yes.
That's the property tax piece. Yeah.
And so the two key pieces here, from my perspective, most of the positions were already in 2025 that we've had some turnover that happens. The updates here, we've moved a couple things around. I think, Jeff, the question for you was your position now versus the outside legal, that's rolled up into salaries, but it was already part of the budget because I didn't see that change.
There is some change associated with that. The total amount of salary increase on the update is $63,000. That
Yep.
is not all mine, but that is a portion of it. So it is there. And yes, rather than giving you a departmental budget at this point in time, David showed you the overall numbers
Yep.
for the fund.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, so if we, to Tracy's point, the fallback is we have to vote on something, right? We have to get a 3-2 on something, and that gets us to the 3 mills.
Well, the way the millage works is the rollback rate requires a 3-2 vote. And that rollback rate, that would be a reduction of about 0.15 1.5 mils. And I think, David, the number that's generated off of 3 mils is what?
Well, the gross number, the gross, and
Right.
again, we can only
Yeah,
budget.
let's stick to the gross so that we can do
Okay,
math easy.
so at 3 mils, based on a taxable value of $659 million, at 3 mils, that generates $1,978,000.
1 million, so call it $2 million
Okay, call it 2
for,
million.
for giggles. And you're looking at about a 1/20th reduction.
Well,
So
if I
if you
drop
went
that,
to rollback, it
which
would
is,
be about $150,000.
yeah.
So that.
And then that makes sense. And then on the 3.5, is that an ask from somewhere, or where? I know we've heard that number out there, but
what happened with on the 3.5, that is the millage rate that will be shown on everybody's proposed tax bill. And it was put out there. That was the preliminary trim rate that was approved by the council. Sometimes the thought is that there's a school of thought that says millage, an increase in millage rate is better and fairer than an increase in your assessment rate. People can also make the reverse argument. One of the things that an increase in millage rate will generally do is it will have a greater effect on commercial properties than an increase in assessment rate will be. And it will also have a greater effect on new purchases of property and properties that are residential properties that are not homesteaded. So depending on where you fall in that scale, some people would say, well, that's a fairer tax for the residents. And other people can, would make the argument on the assessments. Well, the assessments are really supposed to be for this road and drainage, and those things are, directly related to the size of your property. So that's a fairer way to go. I'm not making an argument one way or another. I'm just saying that those debates can happen. And I think that was one of the reasons that the council left it out there as a possibility. But as we've discussed, to just get to a 3 mil rate, which is staying at the same rate, we're going to need a 5-0 vote. 3.5 mils, regardless of what you think or don't think about the equities of the situation, I do not think that you will get a unanimous decision to raise the millage rate. So this budget, while there is a theoretical possibility of going to 3.5 mils, this budget was based upon an assumption that 3 mils would be the cap. With regard to the assessment rate can be approved on a 3-2 vote. And so that is where we thought, based on not only the usage of the money, but also the possibility of getting the increase, it made more sense to balance the budget based on an increase in that road and drainage assessment.
And sorry, that's going up from 200 to 300?
From 200 to 300, which on a 5-acre piece of property means going from $1,000 to $1,500. That's a $500 a year increase.
And Jeff, that's been the
$40 a
same
month,
rate,
whatever you want to do it.
and it's been the same rate since 2019.
Correct.
Right.
That rate has not increased since 2019.
And all of those excess dollars are going to road and drainage.
That's where they go into that fund. And it was last year that staff recommended, I think, a rate of $280, but the decision at that point in time was made to fund that deficit in on the operating side on road and drainage by getting money from the general fund.
Right. And so then the 3.5 would just drive dollars to the general fund, which would ultimately either go into capital improvement or into reserves.
Yes.
Yeah, or if you did go to 3.5, somebody could say, and we want to put that 0.5 mils into the road and drainage fund and continue to supplement it because we think that's a fair way to raise the revenue. I don't think that's going to happen.
1 minute, 1 minute more, Sam.
I know I said I didn't need 10 minutes and here we are. So but the reason you say you don't think that's gonna happen just because of it's this group or the committee that needs the unanimous
It is the council that has to be unanimous.
or the council's yeah.
I would be very surprised if there was a political will to do that, but stranger things may have happened.
Yeah. So the current proposal is stick at 3 and increase the assessment by $100 an acre to balance the current budget, have a little bit excess reserve, and everything else is balanced based on the staffing and investments that we want. What we're missing is that whole list of capital improvement projects that are millions of dollars. So it would take a lot to fund them all in my review.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. Good timing, Sam. 4:58. Well done. Thank you. I think, Peter, would you like to go next?
No, I yield back my time. I can learn more from listening.
Thank you, sir.
I do have a question though.
Sure, please.
You said the millage rate money could be moved into the drainage fund. Can the reverse happen? Are there any collars on that money, the assessment money? Are there any collars on it that it can't go into other funds?
The assessment monies, when you do an assessment, you have to show that the benefit to the property is equal to or in excess of the amount you are assessing.
I'm taking that as a yes, the money has to stay in that fund?
Generally, there could probably be additional transfer from one fund to the other to more truly.
He's asking if, can you put assessment money in the general fund? Can you transfer money out of that assessment to put it in the general fund?
And the answer, my answer is there right now, there is what is it? Are we at 172.5 again on the transfer from the road and drainage fund to the general fund for essentially the management of those things and their contribution to
If we want those.
attorney, manager.
Yeah, we can try to allocate. Yeah, I mean, we try to allocate.
So there could
costs.
be,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is right now it's 172.5. And if you really looked at the allocation, it probably could be higher. So you could do that as a justified expense and move money
Because
over.
it's a large increase and I would hope you could move the money, but. Whenever you do an assessment, the benefit has to be equal to or greater than the cost. All right.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Wu, would you like?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got the question, based on the changes that were updated on the general fund, the 261,629. And then on the back, the 169,81. So the way you got those were looking at the disparity in that they initially was coded with. And if you add that up, that's 400 and, change, just shy of a $500,000. The thing that strikes me is that if we look at the budget, this is just one area where an anomaly or whatever you want to call it was found, and that equated to cost avoidance. You could either say cost avoidance or money that can actually be used instead of changing. I would just think that there's lots of other areas that we can look at that 100,000 is a lot of money to find. And Tracy brought up that the budget overall, the majority of our budget was salaries. And with any business, salaries always expensive. But the number one thing I look at is that with these new hires, new positions, how much money are they going to be generating? Because you usually don't go out and hire somebody unless the money you're going to pay them, they're going to generate money to pay them their own salary, plus also something for the business. So I don't know if anybody looked at that part of the thing, that it's not a matter of the amount of salaries, is by opening these new positions or whatever, here is the cost benefit that you anticipate them generating, especially in the public works area, where you're going to be having a receptionist slash code person there. She'll be available, or he would be available to respond to more code violations and resolving whatever issues that would generate money. And in the same thing, I think the financial guy alluded to it about the training, and all these trips that we, all of a sudden you see they're taking a trip here, taking a trip there. What about the taking the trip to Tallahassee to get with the money holders up there and influence them to send some money to Loxahatchee's way? Because if we don't have a presence up there, it's like playing the lottery. If you don't play, you can't win. But most people think it's a waste of money until you hit the big one. I definitely think it's good to critique the different training and trips and all that, but a little side note would be good to say, hey, this trip has generated X number of dollars the last time we went there, because as a result, we end up getting approval of X number of dollars, that would normally not get sent our way. It's the same thing with the FEMA dollars. Granted, that's federal, but if you don't get back with FEMA or let the powers to be know that, hey, there's a need here. I mean, the one thing they look at is that big $100 deferred maintenance. There's no way we can do that all at once, but we have to put a plan in place to start taking one bite at a time. If not, it's going to be like a snowball. And all it takes is that hurricane that's off our shore right now is to make a left turn, and everything comes to a halt. And as far as the $300 raise per 5 acre, that's $500 more I gotta pay. And where I break that down is that's $40 more a month. And I have to give up one soft drink because it'd be $1.30 a day. So that's one drink I have to pay because a lot of this budget is predicated on money that we really don't have in hand, where that would be money that, hey, you actually got that money. Same thing with the millage. It's whether you get, at least I think we're smart enough to say, hey, we're going to go for 3, even though it might be 3.5. You know, this way you undercut it, but at the same time you give yourself some breathing room, because all the other areas is you can massage it. But the one area that scares me is the reserve and the hurricane preparedness, because that Mother Nature has no respect to person or whoever. She hits everybody the same
It's
way.
unforgiving.
Yeah. And you know, it when was it last year when the tornadoes, I was on my way out the barn door with a bucket of feed, and I had to stop, run inside and run to the house because it was like I was in a movie, you know, and there's no warning on those things. They just pop up, you know. So that was a big awakening for us. Close call here in Loxahatchee. And my big thing is, hey, it's like, you know, hey, hay farmers used to say, hay on the ground is money in the bank, you know, during the winter. And same thing here. When you have money in the reserve, that's insurance, because when the big Category 5 comes, nobody's going to be coming to Loxahatchee handing out ice water, because that's all they're going to bring down here. They're going to give you water. They're not going to be doing infrastructure upgrades, and you know, it's ice water. That's all you're going to get. So my big push on the budget is, you know, ensure that we have a balanced budget with all the different areas, and the new hires and new positions. That's a long sheet you had there, Jeff. That's pretty long, but you know, the town is growing, and to be able to maintain the services that people expect and come accustomed to, part of running a town, you know, all these positions need to be funded, and they generate goods and services back to us.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we probably should, I guess you got to look for the data. What is the return on our investment? You know, just like we put money in the bank, what's our return on this individual? When you hire somebody, hey, we're looking to hire this person, and they're going to be filling this position, but they also, when you look at money, like before, the public works was paying a lot of money out to vendors. The in-house guy, I passed him on my way here, cutting the side of the bank. I know grass cutting is expensive. I had the guys come to my place for one visit. It was like almost $300 1 hour.
Yeah, no,
You
it's
know,
expensive. Mr. Wu, 10 minutes.
but yeah,
Thank you. No, that's very helpful. Thank you so much. Tracy, would you like to go?
Should have gone.
Sure.
I'm
All right.
positive.
So thanks to my friend here, he has given me extra 8 minutes, but I'll try to limit mine in 10 if I could, but I have a little bit more room. Let me start with the strategic priorities. And I would like each of you, if you don't have it already, share that list with the town manager, because this year budget and next 5 to 10 year budget is driven by what is needed by the town. As Mr. Wu said, we needed natural disaster preparedness, and Tracy mentioned about fiscal discipline, and we have all the other comments on retirement and other physical discipline as well. So let me start with my list. And I'm going to also ask for your support. I'm going to say how many are yay, nay quickly. So if all of 5041, it sends a strong message to the council that we are all unified, irrespective of who appointed us. We all represent this town. So when you make these votes, this is for the entire town. It's not just your political individual person's view. It's for the best of the town. So let me start with the first priority. Prioritize building essential infrastructure to mitigate flooding and hurricane risk, and therefore avoid major financial and property losses to our town. I would like this to be included in our priority. Roads and Drainage Department has mentioned in this presentation that they have some critical projects that are unfunded, like a gate. I think they're calling it a retrofit rebuild of pump station, SCADA, restoration of historical drainage, and other essential projects. I would like to request the head of the department to tell us exactly what we are missing at this time, what essential projects are missing. As we all said, not everything has to be done right away, but for 2026, what are the gaps? That's one of the top priorities. Anybody all in favor? Anybody denying? Let me put it this way: all in favor. Anybody would like to second that motion?
We're talking about B1.
No, I'm just talking about
Done.
strategic priorities. Just to say, is that a priority in your mind? I'm not even.
I
Yes.
agree. I
Agree?
would like to second it.
Second, by Tracy, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Wu? On the
I
priority.
don't understand that. I don't understand the question. Like
The question is,
what's
do you
our,
think this
what
should
is
be
our
the
role?
priority for the town in the town budget for 2026 and next 5 to 10 years to first fund the essential infrastructure that is required to protect our town against flooding and major losses in natural disaster risk?
Because I spoke on that. I mean, even
Yes.
if we don't do everything.
Yes,
we
do
have to
something.
Do
I
something
think that is immediately.
towards that 100 million.
Yeah, Sam, I don't know whether,
He doesn't have it.
did you get,
Don't get it.
a draft
even
from
got it.
Manish? Proposed strategic priorities to be added to budget FY 2026 and next 5 to 10 year
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So Sam, I'll share that list with you. You can review and give your comments if you like. But what we are saying is that a priority, essential infrastructure that is needed to prevent, mitigate flooding, and Mr. Wu just mentioned. So I said yes. We have 4 people who are saying yes. If you want to review and come later, that's fine.
Yeah, and I think those priorities are, I think staff would concur in those priorities.
Perfect.
This would also come under the assessment, correct? The increase in assessment.
Yes, that goes under road and drainage and it
Yep.
goes under capital. Okay, second priority is.
Yeah, these are gonna, these things would probably fall within the capital, but they are for the road and drainage
Right.
benefit.
The second priority I would like to suggest is that safeguard our groundwater and drinking water. So I have heard in numerous meetings that we have industrials who are dumping their motor oil in the water. They are dumping their human unprocessed sewage in the water. So I would like us to have some budget kept aside for testing water in the canals, especially discharge from the industrials and nurseries, and proactive and aggressive health and safety code enforcement on biological and chemical contamination, such as chemical spills from industrial facilities, improper water disposal, unapproved
Yeah,
chemicals.
but that sounds like they should already have something in place.
That's my question, Mr. Wu. I want to know, is there something?
The answer is, no, we don't have a testing protocol for the canal.
Yeah, but
the health
the
department should, no?
General,
Well, the town
business-
doesn't. And
No, as a business though, you can't dump raw sewage.
yeah,
You
so-
can't.
No, you can't, but
do
Mr. Wu, what I'm
chemicals.
saying is it's happening. People have already filed complaints. I'm saying our enforcement, they should have the capability to take a water sample. They may not test it, just store it and provide it to health and safety or put a phone call to health and safety. But this should be in their priority. If our water quality is compromised, guys, our property values will drop like a rock, which has happened time and again.
this,
But-
just,
But Jeff,
Yeah.
do we have, we don't have a water fund, right?
well, this is, what they're speaking of is, our canal system.
Mhm.
And so certainly we have the opportunity to test those waters. We do not have, um, uh, I'm not aware of any program, but I know that we do not have a global program with respect to testing the quality of those canal waters. I don't want to say that we've never tested the water or we don't everywhere, but we know that is not something that has been done. This would be the initiation of a new program.
Yes, right. I'm saying, think about that because we
Yeah,
have heard this multiple
I
times.
understand.
Next,
Yeah.
build a case, collect sample in a legal fashion so you can present it down the line. Okay, next priority is, so first of all, anybody, let me say, anybody would like to sponsor this? Water quality testing?
I think we get with the health department first and see what
Yeah,
they're going.
Okay,
to
but not added in the priority. They can figure out the back and I'm saying, should they be adding this?
This sounds like they should already have.
They should have, but I'm saying that
Stuff
I'm
in-
not
in
sure they
place.
do.
You could call, if somebody's dumping stuff, there's a number you can call and report it, and I guarantee you,
It's not done through Loxahatchee Groves, it's done through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actual Columbia
yeah,
County Health
yeah.
Department.
Okay.
the bigger Florida type
All right,
thing.
but look, this may be my individual priority that please look into this. And if there is a process, please educate everybody on how to do this. Okay, next one is, we know natural disaster and building a reserve, 25% is required as a minimum for our town and by Florida law. But I would like to suggest a priority under which we also build a legal defense emergency reserve fund to deal with developer litigation. We have multiple developers who we denied their commercial zoning and then they come back with a lawsuit. And if they see that our town has no money, as you see, our external legal fund is only 50K, etc. So I'm not saying keep a separate fund. You are anyway requiring 25% minimal reserve. Increase that percent to maybe 35, 40. Use that money if needed be for legal defense fund based on town council's approval, because that sends a strong message to any developer who may be looking to force the town towards commercial development. So I would suggest if any of you would like to second that, welcome to do that, but that's a priority that I would.
And on this one here, so, do we have an in-house attorney now?
Yes, that would be me.
But his bandwidth is full with day-to-day matters and other things, right? Litigation requires many expert different.
Well, the thing is, there's already legal in place, and to put money towards it, more money towards it. I
No, I'm
think,
saying keep a reserve fund, build your reserve. You don't have to use it. You can use it for natural disasters too. But anyway, that was my priority.
Question
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, yes.
So basically what you're saying to us is instead of having the required 25%, you want to make it a requirement of 35%.
Yes,
I don't disagree with that
yeah,
because it's in a reserve. You can't
Yes.
touch it.
correct.
It's an emergency fund.
We already touch it.
No, we touch
Right.
it if there is an,
And-
if there is an
Then there's that.
emergency.
And the bigger the pot of money sitting in the
The
corner,
more they're gonna
the
touch
more
it.
hands are looking at it.
Right.
No, I know, but that's what I said. Town council should
Human
approve.
nature. That one you're not gonna argue with.
Right.
Okay, next one is trust by transparency. Protect our town's rural future by controlling our expenditures without having to rely on new commercial zoning. So this is a very important issue. You probably hear a lot of news around this RV zoning. We have to commercialize Southern Boulevard. In my humble view, and I've run a lot of numbers here, our town does not have to depend on any commercial development, any new commercial development to fund our essential services or infrastructure. So I would say town manager should present cost-cutting options such as limiting staff. As we all discussed, staff is very heavy here, reduce administrative employee using technology, hiring freeze, only hire essential staff and other cost reductions. Developers that require change to our comprehensive plan text and map should not be allowed to come forward unless they have filed an application and there is a 90-day window unless approved by the council. So that saves a lot of staff time and focus because, as in a given project, we spend 2 years going around wasting energies. If this is not allowed by our comprehensive plan, then it should not even have come forward. No, I'm just reading. Let me float the motions in a second. There should be a freeze on developers hiring town building, planning, code enforcement, staff consultants. I mean, this has been, even though it's legally allowed, this is the biggest conflict of interest I've seen. If a developer can pay our external lobbyist or consultant to consult for them, and then they're also supposed to provide an independent, neutral advice to us as a town, that's a big conflict of interest. So I'm suggesting, this is my recommendation list. This is not entirely my motion, but I'm suggesting we put a freeze on developers hiring our very staff who is required to provide an independent opinion.
I'm not,
Yeah.
Manish, I'm not really sure what you're
These are
talking.
fiscal decisions. These affect our, you generate revenue from services, fee for services. So I'm just saying that when you do that kind of a stuff, those staff should be separated from the staff who is going to actually give opinion, because if somebody's getting paid
You got conflict of interest.
conflict of
Right, yeah,
interest.
but
Well,
I'm
that's
not
already in
a-
place.
not aware of a situation in which a
Okay,
developer
good-
has
good
hired
then.
Any of our consultants that are in the review.
But the
process.
way I interpret this,
So
you
I just wanted to
saying,
make that clear.
Yes.
I'm not saying it never happened or anything like that. I'm not aware of any such circumstance that you're
Okay.
describing here.
Wonderful. Okay, that's good if you're not aware.
I got
Sure.
thing here. You said stop all hirings,
Not all hiring,
that-
non-essential hiring.
Well, right now that's all we're hiring is essential people.
Are they essential?
I
Are they
mean,
essential? That's what you're
and-
asking.
and
What is the
here-
output?
Here's my put on it. I got here 3 years ago. Thank God I'm still alive, because a crazy neighbor next door was run amok. Code enforcement, non-existent.
Hmm.
I had one guy, I got him on the phone. He was a part-time guy. He went away.
That's
right?
essential, absolutely essential.
Well, and as a result of that, he basically run amok.
Now, Mr.
Okay.
Well, I think he's thinking.
He
all these
ran my
open
property
positions-
value down. If any of y'all went down B Road and see this crazy guy putting pallets up along the crazy fence and all that
I
madness.
don't think
Yes.
he's talking about that. He's talking about
No.
all these open positions that have not been filled. Let's not fill them. Is what
Yeah.
I think he's trying to say.
Yeah, your code enforcement is.
Well, the thing is though, all those open positions already been funded.
No, this is what this part of this budget's for.
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean, when you say, so you're saying if somebody resigned on August 1st, we shouldn't try to fill the position?
I'm saying is, let me explain
Just
specifically.
Just
Yes.
because it's open?
No, non-essential, administrative, consultant, lobbyist. So let me float specific
Hey,
motions.
I'm brand new,
Yes.
like I said,
Yes.
and I come here and there's limited services. Trust me, I try to spend money. I couldn't spend no money. Why? Because I couldn't get nothing approved, because nobody would come to my property and see what this madman was doing,
Well, we're paying a lot of money for somebody to come.
Yes,
right?
We have
And
code
then
enforcement.
until he finally assaulted me, and then I took a different.
sorry to
different
hear
way,
that.
and-
Mr. Wu, let me float specific motions. Now, this is simple, guys. You say yes or no. So that's okay. Let me start with the first motion.
All right, so you're gonna, so I can
Yes,
understand the recording on it. Are you gonna go through?
Yes, go through the list.
bullet points one
yes, sir.
at this point?
Do that first.
No,
No,
it's my,
Make sure.
no, yeah, I
you-
would like second. I would like your second. I can't float it. I'm gonna read it. I would like somebody to say, I support this. I want your support. Okay.
So we're contemplating six votes, I think.
Control.
Okay, I would like to, as my personal motion, and I would love your support on this, motion that the balance, our general fund. So our general fund, keeping the millage rate at 3.0, we are increasing our revenue by 210,000. But our expenses in the version they have submitted earlier were going up by 776,000. In the current version, they are reducing that 776,000 by 261,000. Still, there is a gap of about 500,000 here. So my first motion is only increase. So the first motion A2 is keep your general fund expenses at 2025 level. So that's the very tough position that frees up $776,000 to put into investment reserves and other things. So let me propose this motion. Do we have
I'll second it.
second by Tracy? All in favor?
David, are those numbers accurate? I don't think the budget's going up by $1 million.
No,
or
no,
17.
right now you say yes or no. I'm saying.
But I
hold-
can't say yes or no if I don't know that those numbers are accurate.
He can ask for information on.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise-
Sorry, I didn't get you. What was the question? Sorry?
His question
David-
was of David Delana
Yes.
as to whether or not,
The
there
budget,
has been a
yeah.
$776,000
Increase
increase in the general fund expenditures.
in the
No,
previous budget that was
The,
presented. Yes.
well, the update that we all have now, the budget increased by 514,000.
Yes, correct. So now the budget increase is 514 over the last year. I'm proposing keep the 2026 budget of general fund at the same level. as
What are you proposing
2025.
that they cut?
Sorry?
What are you proposing be cut?
No, I'm saying this was when I prepared this was based on the old version. The version that
Sure, but what was,
this is,
what
they have
you want
submitted the
to,
new version. So in the new
you-
version, it will be cut by
But-
500 and
I think.
10,000.
sure, but what
Mr.
what
Harry's
line
here.
items do you want them to cut to, on the 500,000? We can't just
Where
blank
do you
blanket
propose
say.
to
I'm
get the
coming to that.
500,000?
no, I'm coming to that. I will suggest, but first, as a principle, big picture, do you want to keep the 2026 general fund budget at the same level as 25? I have one support from Tracy. I'm saying all in favor.
No, I would say we need to increase it and continue to improve the
Okay,
services
so
of the
no,
town.
we have one no,
Do no.
two no,
3 no.
three no. Okay, motion fails. Now, only increase 2026 general fund budget by $210,000. So if we keep our millage rate at 3.0, our revenue only increases by 210,000. So I'm saying increase your general fund expenses only by 210,000. That's what our tax revenue delta is, new increases. So if our tax revenues are only going up by 210 by keeping the millage at 3, only increase expenses by 210. Do I have a second?
What they should be.
No,
according to the new.
Mr. Delina, how much revenue goes up by keeping the millage at 3.0?
Well, $172,000, but I also assume that there would be other increases. You're right. The total sources of funds in the
Yes.
general fund go up by $210,000.
Correct.
And so if I understand what you're saying is only let the increase in the expense side be the same. And so therefore we would have to reduce expenses by about 300,000.
Correct. Yes.
I'll second that.
Second from Tracy. All in favor?
No,
Three in favor?
No, Mr. Lamuda was voting no.
A no or yes?
Oh, sorry.
A no or yes?
Do that again? Can we do that again then?
Keep the 2026 general fund expenses increase at the same amount as the increase in revenues, which is 210,000. So limit your general fund expense increase. So only increase your expenses by 210 because our tax revenues are only going up by
So-
210.
sorry, this is the same question. You're just
Hold
you're
on.
just changing the numbers,
Yes.
right?
Hold on,
Aye.
Aye, three in favor?
wait, Mr. Harity had a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
This is the same question, just the last one failed, so you're reducing the numbers.
We can't hear you, Mr. Harry.
He said that, Mr. Harity said, this is the same question, you're just reducing
expenses.
the number. And I think his underlying question is, how would you propose
I'm coming to that.
to cut the $300,000?
I'm coming the how part in a bit, but I'm just saying, first, we agree that this is we only increase responsibly from what we can afford. So
So-
live within our means. Can we first agree to that? Then we will come down to where we cut.
No.
Yeah, but I
No, we
don't-
have the budget is balanced
so
as
Guys,
is.
we have a
Cut it
vote here.
before we
My
vote on it.
friends,
We want to make sure that we should be able to cut
Cut,
general funds
yes.
before you get to the nitty gritty.
yes. So we are voting here. We had a chance to explain. You either say yes or no. So
Well,
we have
they-
three
we can
yes.
have Discussions that they understand. with-
No, I explained. What other questions do we have?
I think Mr. Harity had a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. Harity. I can't hear you. That's the problem. Your voice is very low here. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay now?
Sorry.
Very low.
Go ahead, Mr. Harity, please.
It's okay. I'm voting against it. I think it's the same question as before, just with lower numbers.
Okay, good.
But
So
so no,
this
the
motion
budget is
passes.
balanced for 2026. We should approve the balanced budget for 2026.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes 3-2. Next motion. Freeze any non-essential. So this is now addressing your next question, where we can save this additional 300,000 or so. Freeze any non-essential hiring, vendor expenses such as liaison and lobbyists. Now, let me give you a little background, guys. TPA grant window closed in July. There is nothing required. Other grants, our governor told us no more money. County doesn't have any money. And I'm going to propose another motion, which you will be very surprised to hear, but point remains, there is no money. Governor said, done. Federal government said, no money. So if we keep on these guys and, Mr. Wu said, roll the dice and play casino, we don't have the luxury to do so. So I'm saying freeze any non-essential hiring, vendor expenses, liaison, lobbyist, maybe hire them next year if the governor changes. Who knows? Credit card use, training, travel, non-essential credit card, no expenses on food, etc., unless it's essential. Non-essential training, non-essential travel, everything stopped until we have received the FEMA pending invoices. We have about $1 million, I'm told, stuck with FEMA. Build the reserves at a level which we all agree upon, and properly funded capital improvement funds. If those three things happen, we have reserves, we have funded our capital improvement fund. Of course, you guys have a luxury to do other things, but not at this minute. So anybody would like to second that motion?
So what is the motion?
I just read.
To
Freeze any non-essential spending.
That's,
So they have to
Yeah.
come back with a categorization. This is essential, this is non-essential, right? Like code
Wasteful
enforcement.
spending is what
Yes.
you're talking about.
that's common sense.
Well, not
But
really,
the common sense is not common, right? I'm saying, do you know if it is being spent today? You don't know, we don't know. I'm just saying, let's
I
propose.
guess one of the questions I would have if we were to implement that.
Mhm.
So who's making the decision as to whether it was non-essential or essential? Are you delegating
Okay.
the staff to do that? For example,
Yeah, because
there was a fuel pump that needed to be replaced last week. Yeah. So
would that be put on? the
that's
council
essential, right?
or-
No, I think
well,
this,
the way I think about it is non-essential. That means nothing is
Mr.
essential.
Mr. Wood,
You
now
know,
that's
shut
not how
down
it
all the
works.
services.
okay,
No.
they will come
Unless
back
they're
to us.
emergency service.
I'm saying, let them come back to us and say, these are the things that are, yes, there may not be a receptionist saying hello to you.
Making that
Well,
decision.
I
They'll
guess,
decide.
and I was being a little bit facetious, but okay. On the fuel pump that we needed to replace last week,
That is
do we have to go
essential.
to council?
That is essential.
Okay.
I'm not,
I
I'm saying,
mean,
but
but who's,
I
the question
think the
becomes,
point
who makes,
really is-
who makes the decision on
I
whether
think
it's
whoever
essential or
makes the
non?
decision, he or she would have to defend that position.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Do
point.
you have a second fuel pump that you can use? Is there only one fuel pump?
Hey, can I just make one comment? We have less than 2 weeks that statutorily we have to come up with a budget. So if you have any recommendations, specific recommendations of what you feel is not needed.
I think that's the
I
purpose
have
of
a
our.
recommendation for
then-
something I feel is essential. This is the
Oh.
third meeting that the technical,
yes, can't
Hasn't
even hear.
worked. all right?
Well,
The third,
staff-
only
well,
3 times, I think, or 4 times.
Well, what I'm
This has
saying
not
is,
worked 3 times. That's essential, and I'll defend that position.
Right.
We need to get this fixed because
Hire a
I
young
can't even
person.
hear
can't sit
Mr.
here like
Harity
this for
over
an
there.
hour or 2.
Yeah. Hire a young
Okay,
person.
so David,
Wait, did Sam
yeah.
finish?
yes,
The operator.
Sam, did you finish your question?
I wasn't speaking. It was David.
No,
Oh,
I'm-
I thought you were
it was
finishing.
me.
and you
I'm
had a
sorry. No,
question.
so I mean, like if you have a specific, like, let's say you don't want, you know, you don't want the board clerk to have the minimum requirements for reporting her minutes. And so, all right.
David, let me give you specifics. I would like, as I said in this memo, I would like all the liaisons, lobbyists fired. I would like them to go away. Yes, that's one. That saves us 200,000 right there. I would like
Well, no,
credit
we
card
only
training,
budgeted
non-essential spend.
75. We only budgeted
Okay, so
75, and that's in other
look,
services.
David, let me
Yes.
float my motions. We
Go ahead,
will
sorry.
get into the I just
Yeah, but I think
explained where you
the
get
issue
cut.
is if the numbers are
200,000 I gave you
wrong,
right here on this
the issue is
point.
if the numbers are wrong, following the motions doesn't help us.
Saying only 75.
And I think with the goal here is
Well, we
to
spent over
figure
100
out the budget. We
They
can't
have
just have
spent
loose.
150,000 this year.
That's it.
There are lobbying costs in the proposed capital program, as we've discussed, the TPA.
Yeah.
the 100,000.
How much is the lobby?
Lobbying right now, we've spent 106,000, a little over $106,000.
Yep.
The current lobbying contracts, Mr. Book's contract will be up for renewal. The folks that are lobbyists, it's on the order of $160,000.
So
Yeah.
I think Manish is
So how
trying to
much
say we
money
need to
have they-
quit it
Yes.
right now.
How much money have they generated?
There's no.
Zero.
there's
This
zero.
this year zero. This year, this coming year zero.
Well,
Can you defend
Oh.
that? They haven't gotten us any money.
what my defense of it would be, our Tallahassee lobbyist over the last 3 years has pulled in $1.85 million in grants and gotten us a designation in which we were able to access those monies without having to have any contribution of 25%. So I would argue that the lobbyist over the last,
Jeff,
3 years
yeah.
has produced over $2.2 million worth of value to the town.
Okay, he done it. Great, thank
And-
you, but he
and-
hasn't
and-
kept on it.
and this year,
Yeah.
but for the governor's veto, there was another $750,000 that he had gotten through the legislative process. And we are in the process of trying to get our rural designation continued for another several years. And what that means is when we get a grant, we don't have to come up with matching funds.
Okay,
So those,
Jeff, I can
and-
get
and-
your explanation in a second. What I'm saying to you is they done it great. We can have our existing staff. We can lower them. I'm not saying, yeah. What is happening?
The phones are going.
Goodness, our lobbyists are making our phone rings, huh?
Kidnap kid.
Yeah.
Dangerous
sorry.
thunderstorms.
All right, next motion. Did we, first of all, do I have any support on this motion?
Yeah, but my
One
issue with
support
this is
there.
that you're short, you have
We
a
did, we
short
did.
view.
3-2, the motion passed, A4, 3-2.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
who voted in favor of that?
Tracy, me, and
Peter?
Peter. Okay, next motion. Prohibit diversion of roads and drainage funds towards hiring any lobbyist, liaison, and consultant. So one of the things I noticed is that when you say roads and drainage fund, this year we have given 100,000 plus contract to a liaison or a consultant or a lobbyist. That's not building the road. That is just throwing the dice here. We don't have the money for this, guys. We have people increasing their taxes. We don't have reserves. This is not something we can afford. So no money spent. Road and drainage, give the increases to our staff. Let them have machinery. Let them have everything they need. Fix the pumps, all the essential repairs. Do not hire any consultant lobbyist. In particular, motion B2, reduce.
If you're just missing the forest for the trees here, in my view. You're
Let me
taking a
float the
lobbyist who
motion.
we
You can
paid
say yes or no.
360.
Oh, he's got a question.
Are we
Yeah,
taking a
sorry.
lobbyist who you paid
Yeah.
$360,000 over 3 years? They-
Voice their opinion.
Okay, go ahead, please. I have 5 minutes. I don't know what to do here.
Fine.
All right, thank you. Then I'm relaxed.
Sam, what did
You-
you say?
You have a lobbyist who you paid 360 or $450,000 over 3 years. They brought in $2.25 million of either savings or cash. And you're saying throw them out because you don't have a view that they might bring in something next year and instead pay $100,000 on roads and drainage. I mean, to me, that is super short-sighted.
Yeah, yeah, because they already generated more money for the next, you could pay them for the next 5 years and still benefit from the money that they generate.
Well, maybe that's one out of how many lobbyists
Yeah.
we have.
We have too many lobbyists. Okay, so can I answer your question, Mr. Harity, since you brought a very good point, and this is going to be a motion. Do you know that, let me explain to you here something. Do you know that our town has applied for something called Florida Commerce Grant? It is given to the towns who are financially distressed rural communities. In other words, if a hurricane hits a town and government says, oh, we are dying, so you go to state or federal, they give you money. But you know what happens with that money? If you accept those funds, Southern Boulevard Corridor automatically becomes a rural area of opportunity under the state law. That triggers other statutes allowing landowners to pursue rezoning and land use changes. In simple words, kiss goodbye to this rural town. So the state and federal regulations take over the rural local regulation. So this is an example of the grant that our town spends a lot of money, sends the grant. They may even give us the grant, but even if you spend $1 of that grant, we will have a permanent trade-off. It will strip away our home rule, hand zoning influence to state and federal agencies, invite legal challenges, and because our corridor boundaries are even clearly defined. What is Southern Corridor Boulevard? So it's not just what is happening right now is we are submitting all these grants without understanding what is Southern Boulevard. So here is my motion since you brought it up. I move for a motion to put a moratorium, meaning freeze, on any new grant applications or lobbyist contracts tied to Southern Boulevard Corridor to strictly prohibit the town manager from accepting or using any grant monies without a public vote of this council. In other words, whatever you applied so far, we cannot use $1 of that grant until we know what that means. Like I said, even if you spend $1 of this so-called Florida Commerce Grant, your local rules are overtaken by federal rules, and they're opening our lands to rural opportunity zones. So I don't know who started this grant, how much money went, staff time went, and for what. Same thing with the RV park. This should not even, comprehensive plan is not even allowed for an applicant to file under our current ULDC. So how does this all happens and we spend thousands and thousands on all these projects without even being clear what it is?
Manish, if I may.
Yes.
With respect to the Florida Commerce Grant, you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
I don't pretend to be intimately familiar with that application. In almost all cases, any grant that the town would apply for and receive, that grant has to be accepted by the town council.
Before you apply or after you get?
After you get it.
But I'm saying
You
why
come-
put effort if we are not going to commercialize the whole thing, take federal takeover of our zoning? Why do we even do this?
I'm not.
Manish, hey, is this even within the purview of this committee? Like, aren't we
The
supposed to approve
preview
the
of this
budget?
is I'm suggesting
We're
a
not the
financial
town, we're not the town
moratorium.
council here. We're just approving the budget.
We have that
I-
meeting on Wednesday.
Hey, yes. we
It's
do.
fine if you have a concern for the town council, but let's not spend our time here. Our time here is on the budget.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah,
decide if we
15
want
minutes. So
to.
I'm saying my
You
motion.
do not have 15 minutes. You've got about a minute because there's another
Okay,
group that has
here
to
you
come
go.
in here at 6 o'clock and
So wrap-
use these facilities.
All right, wrap it up. Final, we will continue the discussion. So my motion is two motion quickly. First is preserve FEMA invoice payment to only fund capital improvement or build reserve. Do not expense FEMA reimbursement towards any lobbyist or consultant expenses. Do I have a second?
You do recognize that some, like when you, the lobbyist, not the engineering expenses can be reimbursed.
I think it's something that's.
I'm saying lobbyist or consult. I'm not talking about
But a
engineering.
consultant's an engineer.
I'm saying lobbyist consultant, lobbyist
All right,
consultant.
I just
What-
wanted to understand.
Yes.
We're freeze is a little harsh. I think we need to look at it and cut back.
Cut back, okay,
Right.
cut back. Do I have a motion? Cut back on, seriously cut back on? Leslie, why don't you propose a
I
motion?
propose that we cut back on all of our expenses across the board.
Absolutely.
And I
Okay,
think we need to come up with priorities and we need to figure out, or they need to figure out what they are.
okay. So motion is to cut costs in the road and drainage and general fund so that the expenses only go up by what we can afford in the tax
Didn't we
revenue.
already do this?
I think the relevant question for you all to give advice, especially on this short notice, is: are you supportive of a millage rate at 3.0?
I think we already voted on that. didn't we?
No, we
Oh.
haven't voted on
No,
that.
we need to do-
Yeah, that's the essential question.
Right.
Before we get into cutting expenses and all those kind of things, the question on that the budget has to address is: are you
$300.
supportive of a millage rate of 3.0?
Jeff, I was told by the council that revenue side is not our preview right now. We need
Okay.
to tell them what the cost is and they will decide what the taxes burden is going to be. Our job is
right,
to tell them what the cost or the budget is. That dictates how much tax we put on our residents. I'm saying in my collective summary, only general fund only increased by 210K. That's it. That's our increase in delta by 3.0 millage rate. In roads and drainage, you are getting 750,000 extra because of increasing from 200 to 300. Use that money very wisely to build our reserves and to build our infrastructure critical, all that flood related, etc. Do not waste it on things that are rolling the dice, like our lobbyists and consultants and liaisons and things of that nature.
But the
That's it.
lobbyist is,
All right. Is
but
that
the
fine?
lobbyist is
That's
not
fine
rolling the
with me.
dice. They proved that
Good.
by getting us $2.5 million. That's not a roll of the dice. That's a misrepresentation of that.
Yeah, but I also have,
Anyway, our
I
job here is to approve the budget, and that's revenue and expenses.
Can't
It's
hear you,
not
Mr. Hannity. I'm
like,
so sorry.
He's saying that. it's
and
our-
like, I'm frustrated that we're wildly off track here, talking about like maybe we should reduce
We
expenses. Like we
can't
have
hear
to,
you,
if
Mr.
we have
Hannity.
2
Sorry, we have a
weeks.
deadline. And Ms. Tracy, you have any?
Okay, we have to end it anyway because we're
He's
over time.
saying that you're saying
Jeff,
we're
can you
rolling the
kill
dice,
this?
yet.
I don't want to necessarily say
Yeah.
lobbyists. I think
If the
in
guy-
general.
Generated over
All right.
2 point something million dollars.
All right.
For a
Well,
$100.
Yeah. So what I understood from the chairman's comment, and I haven't heard anything different from anybody else, that is that the board is generally supportive of an assessment rate of $300. You just want to be wisely spent.
Correct.
I would say. so.
I would be more in
Yes.
favor of
Okay.
increasing the assessment because it goes to road and drainage.
Yeah.
I want to make a motion.
Yes.
That our meetings start at 6 PM.
Yes,
In the future.
yes. I agree. 6
Who's
o'clock.
gonna second it?
I will second it.
Well, no, the motion should be our meeting doesn't back up to another one.
Well, that
where-
too.
where-
Yeah.
Well, that's a different
on it.
motion. You can make that second motion. But my motion is that we have to start our meetings, the FAC committee, at 6 PM and not before.
I second it.
All in
I
favor?
agree.
All in favor?
Sam? Sam?
So,
I mean,
Did you vote?
within our relative scheduling limitations, sure.
Can't hear him.
What do you say?
All right,
What is he saying?
he's fine with that. So I
6
hear that was unanimous, 6 o'clock as a starting
Second
time.
Then make
motion.
Your motion.
What is your motion, Mr. Wu? Go ahead. That don't back us into a time. What is the
You want to
motion?
make a motion?
oh yeah, I make a motion that we don't schedule our meeting that backs up to another meeting. So if we do run over,
Yeah.
we gotta cut it and.
I
get it
second
up
that.
and
All in favor? Yes, I'm
Aye.
for Mr. Hannity.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we should manage our time better and meet the
5-0.
Because we're always
timeline.
rushed.
Yes, always right. That's the problem. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it, ladies.
So your
You
job,
made a motion to adjourn.
yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
We'll be back here on Wednesday.